Hello and very warm welcome to yet another tutorial of .NET in which we are going to see how we can consume the APIs within the .NET. The background for this idea is that there are some scenarios in which we cannot consume the APIs within the front end where normally we use the JavaScript fetch calls, or in the case of React we use Axios. But here is a scenario where you have to consume the APIs within the backend, and this is a troublemaker. To solve this issue, we are going to create a HTTP client within the MVC project. For this project to follow along, either you can download the .NET APIs which have been previously instructed in the previous tutorial, or you can watch the previous tutorial. Link will be given in the eye icon above there on the, I believe, right top corner. So let's get started. Firstly, make sure to fire up your Visual Studio 2022. I'm going to open up the previously done project, .NET APIs, and going to run this project so that we can consume the APIs previously created within this project. So let's run this project. And also we are going to utilize a new project. So I'm going to create a new project. And this time again, I'm going to select the MVC, ASP.NET Core Web API, Web App with MVC, and make sure it's following the C#. Going to name it Consuming Web APIs .NET MVC. Make sure that it's using the .NET Framework 8 and basic default configurations are good. Going to create this project. After creation, I'm going to add a model. The model is going to be similar that has been utilized within the previous project, product. Rather, I will copy this model from the previous project so that it doesn't going to take much time. Okay, model has been created. Now we have to add a controller. Going to utilize the MVC controller with read and write options. Basically, I'm going to override it, but it's better to utilize the predefined controller. The name of the controller will be products, and it will be simple controller, not controller one. By convention, we have to give the controller after the name of your controller. Otherwise, it's not going to be recognized as a controller. Moreover, the products will be utilized at the endpoint that will be written in the URL. Okay, the controller has been created. Now we have to add up the code that is going to be utilized to consume the APIs that are being produced by the previous project. So firstly, we have to create a variable that is going to store the URL, and it will be in the shape of string. Make sure to make it static, otherwise it won't be available. The next variable we require will be the URI. So private URI, and it will be base URI. URI will be initialized with the help of this URL. After that, we have to create the client. So private read only HTTP client. Going to create the constructor. Within the constructor, I'm going to create the object of that client, and after that, I'm going to assign the client base address. So HTTP client dot base address equal to base URI. So far, so good. Now we have to create the uh, method. Rather, it's already has been created. We are going to utilize this index method to consume the API, in which we are going to show all the records that have been available within the API. The API is basically following the REST architecture. Moreover, API has been formatted with the help of repository design pattern. So HTTP response equal to HTTP client dot get async, and then we have to pass the base URI and dot result response message. Okay, we are using the get async method. That is why we have utilized the dot result, so that whenever the result is ready, it's going to pass it to the response variable. So firstly, we are going to check the response. If the response has the success message, then we are going to move further. So response dot is success code. Then what to do? Then we are going to utilize the JSON that has been given us by the API. So string JSON equal to response dot content, and it will be dot read as string async. And again, we have to make sure that it's result, otherwise it's going to give us the error. We have to put a wait here, and then the result will be stored within the JSON. Okay, now the agenda of this method is to display the record within the view. So to get the view, we have to deserialize this JSON in the form of the product list. So we have to utilize a package that is the Newton's JSON package. Depending upon the internet speed, there we go. Newsoft.json. We are going to install it. And the package has been installed successfully. Now we are going to utilize this package list of product. We have to ensure that we are consuming the right model. So products equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object. Object is a generic, so we have to treat it like a generic. In this generic, we have to pass the list. List is again a generic. We have to tell which type of list it will be. It will be a product list, and we have to pass the JSON so that it's going to deserialize this JSON in the form of this product list. After that, we are going to return this, and we are going to show it within the view. In case there is no products, then I'm going to pass it null. Going to save it. To create the view, select the method, right click it, add view. We are going to utilize an empty view. Index.cs HTML is correct this time. Add. Now we have to create a view. I'm going to utilize the bootstrap classes to make a pleasant. Otherwise, it looks like we have just dumped all the HTML. So within the container, I'm going to give an h1, h1 within the h1 products. And after that, we are going to create a table. Class will be table. T head, within the T head, we are going to utilize the TR, within the TR, TH, within the TH ID, and it will have name, description, and price. Lastly, there will be another heading that will be actions, in which we are going to perform the edit and delete action. And then we have the T body. Within that T body, TR, TR. No, rather it will be a loop. So for each, but what we are going to pass within the for each, we have to define it. So at the rate model, what type of model will be? It will be list of models. Which model? Consuming your project name dot models dot product. That's it. Var product in model. So this model is representing this list, and this var product is representing the each row of this list. Within that tr, going to utilize the td. Within that td, product dot id, name, description, price. Within the action, I'm going to write temporarily, I'm going to write edit, and then we are going to see what we are going to do about it. Delete. Okay, that's it. Okay, within the shared folder, there is a layout. Within that layout, I'm going to replicate this list so that we can have the clickable link within the template. It will be controller is the products, action is the index, and the name that will be displayed on the navigation bar will be products. Save it. Let's run this project. Okay, products is there, and we are getting some sort of error because we haven't passed the URL. So firstly, we have to copy the URL from the previous project. Going to copy it and paste it there. It's not whether, it's the API slash products. That's it. Save it, uh, hot, reload it. Now it's going to, okay, firstly we have to pass it through the error, then hot reload it, refresh this page. Again, we are getting the error because it's saying it's empty. Let's reload the project. Sometimes hot reloads work, sometimes it doesn't. And this time we are getting the products. Okay, good. Now we want to add a product. I'm basically going to add up a button here, which will be responsible to give us the view of the add product. So let's work it on it. I'm not going to utilize the details, so I'm going to delete it. But you can get the idea how we are going to get only a specific record on the base of ID within this edit or delete. So to create, we firstly have to create the view, add view. It will be empty view, and it will be, this time it will be create. Basically, it should be one-to-one mapping between the name of your method and the name of your view. So create.cshtml. So let's create the view to add the product. First of all, I'm going to tell which model I'm going to utilize. So consuming consuming dot model dot product, and then within a div class container. If you find difficult to understand the Bootstrap classes, let me know. I will create a complete crash course for the Bootstrap 5. Then add new product. After that, we have to utilize a form. Within that only we have to tell the method that will be post. Within that form, we have to create, rather I'm going to give this form a class, and basically going to shorten the width of the form. It will be 50%, and moreover it will be uh, display block, and to center align it we are going to utilize mx auto. After that, div class, not site, class equal to mb-3. Then going to create a label. Within that label, please enter product name, and it will be for the name. Class will be control uh, form hyphen label. Then we have to define a field, input type text. Class will be form hyphen control. After that, ASP hyphen for at the rate model dot name. Then ID will be name. We have given the type, we have given the class, we have uh, told that it's for the name. That's it. I'm going to replicate this for 3 times. Name instead of name, it will be description. Description, but in the model description is with capital D, and then we have price. So price, price. Then we have to include a submittable button. Remove the label text. Input type will be submit. Value will be save. Classes will be btn hyphen primary and d hyphen block and mx hyphen auto. We don't require the ID, nor we require any of the ESP tag. Okay, good. Let's move forward. Save it within the index. Now we have to add the anchor link that will have appearance of button with the help of bootstrap classes. And we are not going to utilize the href here. We are going to utilize the result page attributes. And first one will be ASP hyphen controller. Controller is products. I'm talking about this controller. And ASP hyphen action will be create. Class will be btn hyphen primary, and I want to float it to the uh, right side. So in Bootstrap 5 we write float end, and going to give some padding on top and bottom. So mx hyphen 3 and me hyphen 2. Within that we're going to write add new product. Save it. Within the controller method is ready. Save it as well. And firstly, just update this method. Then we are going to check this in action. Not going to utilize this iForm collection. We are going to utilize the product, and within that product we are going to now within that create method we are going to firstly we have to see uh, we have to convert this product into JSON, because whenever we are dealing with APIs we have to deal it uh, within the JSON. So firstly convert the product string JSON product equal to, going to utilize the Newton soft package, that is JSON convert dot. This time we are going to serialize this product. Previously we have deserialized it from JSON to the list of products. This time we are going to serialize the product within the JSON string, and then we are going to utilize the var content equal to new string content, but within the string content we have to define the encoding type. So encoding. We have to import this encoding from the system.text and then with dot UTF-8, and then we have to define that utilizing the application slash JSON. Now we have to pass it to the API. To pass it to the API, we are going to utilize the HTTP response message, response equal to HTTP client dot post async, and within the post async we are going to pass the base URL and then the content itself, and then going to wait for the result. As the result gets there, we are going to check if the response dot has is success code. Is success is a variable to check whether it's returning between the 200 code status or what. So yes, it's checking between 200 to 299. Between 200 and 299, it's okay status. Otherwise, it's error, some sort of any error. 400 series is basically not found, or no authentication. 500 series is for the server side error. And then we are going to get the response string response JSON equal to response dot read, and it will read the content dot read is content dot read as a string async. It's kind of tongue twister, don't you think so? Okay, by the way, we are not going to utilize this thing. We are happy with the status code uh, 200, and then we are going to, okay, there comes the first pro tip. We are going to utilize messages in the form of alert. Normally, we are familiar with the alerts that are very boring. This time, I'm going to show you a very beautiful alert. Normal alerts are like this. However, we are going to utilize the sweet alert too. That shows a very good message. So it enhances the user experience. And we are going to utilize this one, but with a little bit change. So going to copy this, and after that open up the layout. Within the layout, I'm going to add another script tag, and within the script tag, going to create a function, and this function will require two attributes, the message and the message type. Within this, I'm going to paste the code I have just copied from the switch alert, and icon will be displayed upon the message type. So message type, title will be, again, I'm going to utilize the message type with exclamation mark. So going to utilize the template string, and within the template string pass the oops message type followed by an exclamation mark. We don't require any footer. Message will be message. Okay, but one thing, we haven't copied the CDN of the suite alert. So let's copy the CDN. To copy the CDN, click on the installation, click on the CDN, copy the CDN, paste within your script tags, but before this script tag, otherwise it's not going to work. After that, we are going to check if check variable, we haven't defined the check variable, so first we define the check variable. Let check equal to at the rate temp data dot count, and we will put this within the single quote. I'm going to explain this code within a second. Firstly, let me complete it. Uh, count is greater than 1, then it's true, true. Otherwise, it's false. False. So basically, temp data is utilized to pass the data from the controller to the view, and it's only initializes one time, means that whenever you are going to utilize, it's going to show the data. After that, it's going to empty itself. So we don't have to empty it yourself. For example, in the case of view bags, you have to empty it and you have to manage the, whether you are managing the state in this temp data, you don't have to manage the state. Whenever it's utilized, it will be empty after that. Check, within that check, we are going to call the show alert. So within the show alert, within the show alert, we are going to utilize the at the rate temp data. Within the temp data, we have to check for the message. After that, at the rate temp data, check for the message type. It's just like an array or associative array. If you're familiar with the PHP, it's just like an associative array. It's like a key pair value where you're defining the key, and if the key present, then it's going to give you the data. Otherwise, it's going to be null. So we have checked the count. If the count of the temp data is greater than 1, only then we are going to call this this alert method, and it depends. It's a success message or it's an error message. It will work for both. We are done with the layout. So back within the controller, here we don't want this thing. I'm just going to comment it out so that you can utilize it later if you want. However, I'm going to show the messages with the help of temp data. Temp data message message equal to product added successfully, the simplest message we can type, and the message type will be success. And we are going to return it, where return it to redirect, redirect, redirect to the action, and name of the action, name of index. So basically we are going to return it to the index. In case we don't have the success code, then we are going to return it with the error message. Simply product not added, not added. And instead of success, it will be error. And that's it. And within the layout, I'm going to capitalize this thing title. So type dot to upper case. Basically, I'm utilizing the JavaScript method. Run this project. Hopefully, we are not going to run into some sort of errors. Products. Click on add products. And then we are going to add some sort of product. Water bottle. Uh, simple water bottle. Price will be 120. Save it. And the success message has been shown and the product has been added. Boom. Okay, we are done with the displaying the products. We are done with the adding a new product. Now we have to edit the product and delete the product. So stop this project. Within the edit method, we have to return the view. Okay, this time we have to return the view with a product, and that product will be shown us by the API. So let's start working on it. HTTP response message, uh, response equal to underscore HTTP client dot get async. Within that get async, now we have to pass the base URI with the product ID. So to pass the base URI with the product ID, I'm going to utilize the variable, and it's kind of a similar thing that we have utilized within the JavaScript like template string. It's easier way of maintaining the variables within the string. Base URI slash another variable that is ID, and after that we have to close this thing. Why we are getting error? Because we haven't utilized the dot read dot result. Okay, if it's the success message, so response dot is success code. After that, uh, we have to get the string. Basically, we are going to get the JSON, and we have to read it from response dot content, and then we are going to uh, read as a string, and then we are going to utilize the dot result. That's it. After that, now we have to deserialize this string. So this time only a single product. So product equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object product, and then going to pass the JSON within the method. And after that, we are going to return it with the view. So return view with the product. In case we don't find the product, then it's no need to show the edit form. Rather, we should return it to the index with an error message. I'm going to copy it, and the error message product not found. That's it. Let's create the edit form, add, and this time it will be edit. And then firstly, we are going to utilize the model in which we are getting the data. So model will be from our project. So consuming, we have to give the fully qualified path. Otherwise, most of the time it's not going to pick up which class we are talking about. Product. After that, I'm going to copy the create product. Within the create product, we have to add a couple of things. So follow me along. Instead of add new product, it will be added product. Moreover, we have to add up the ID. So duplicate this, change this one, ID, and here we have ID with capital I. Now we have to define value at the rate model dot ID. Moreover, ID will be read only because it's a primary key, we cannot change it. Value will be at the rate model dot name. In the case of description, value is model dot description, and then value at the rate model dot price. Form is complete. Yep, form is complete. So let's complete this added method. Not going to utilize this try catch. Okay, ID is not required. Moreover, we are not going to utilize this collection. We are rather going to utilize our own class. So product, and let's edit this product. Okay, string JSON. Firstly, we have to convert this product. We have to convert it to JSON. After that, we can convert it to the content, and then we are going to pass it to the URI with the appropriate method. So JSON convert dot serialize object dot product, and then var content equal to new string content. Within the string content, we are going to pass this JSON and going to tell the encoding type, and the header that has been included with this content is application slash JSON. After that, we are going to pass it to the API, and the API will return us the response message. So we are going to create the response message variable, response equal to HTTP client dot, it's a edit method, so we are going to utilize the put async, and within the put async we have to define the base URI along with the content. But this time the base URI requires the ID of the product as well. I'm going to copy it, but there's a twist that we don't have any ID variable. The ID has been passed within the product, so product ID, and then followed by the content, then the dot result ID with the capital I, not the small. Okay, And what's the issue this time? We have passed the content. We have HTTP client dot is not null here. Async product ID. Product is not null here. Why it's giving this error? Oh, sorry, we are utilizing HTTP request message. It should be HTTP response message. Okay, after that, if response dot is success, then we are going to uh, give success messages same as it is we have given within the create. So going to copy those messages. Instead of add, it will be edited, and in case of error, again we are going to return it to the index method but with the error message. The last one left is the delete. In case of delete, we are going to utilize the post call, not the get call. Not going to utilize this collection. Upon the ID, we are going to delete the record. So firstly, we have to, I'm just going to copy this thing and then going to change it for the delete. Base URI with the ID. It doesn't require any content. Instead of put, it will be delete async dot result. If success message, then return it with success. Delete, and in case of error, return it with the delete error message. Okay. In index.cshtml, we haven't defined the form and the button. So button is basically anchor link again. Anchor link with ASP hyphen controller. Controller is the products. This products controller, and products action will be ASP action will be edit, and we have to pass a route variable. So ASP hyphen route hyphen which variable ID equal to at the rate product with small p product dot ID, and then classes will be btn hyphen. In case of edit, I'm going to utilize the info btn info. By default, I believe btn info has black text but doesn't suit with the uh, cyan color, so I'm going to convert it to text hyphen white. After that, we are going to utilize the I believe that's it. We don't require anything else. Not delete, it's edit. Within edit and delete button, I'm going to pass a pipeline symbol. And now I'm going to create a form because the delete is within the HTTP post call. To create a post call, either we can utilize the JavaScript or we can create a form. So I'm going with the form technique. So form method method will be post. But the thing is that within this index method, uh, we cannot have the edit method. So we have to explicitly define it like we have defined here, or we can copy it. Copy. However, form has the display block, so I'm going to change it so that both buttons will be displayed in the same line. Class D inline input type submit. Class will be btn hyphen danger, and value will be delete. That's it. Okay, let's run this project. Okay, we are not getting any edit button. Why? Let's see the code. Why we are not getting the edit button? Edit is there. BTN alert info. It's not BTN alert info, it's BTN info. Save it, hot reload it. Let's check it, and there we have. Let's change from small w to capital. Bottle with capital B. Instead of simple, it will be plastic. Water bottle. Instead of 120, it will be 50. Let's save it. Product edited successfully, and indeed product has been edited. Let's delete this record. Error product not edited. Basically, when we are copying blindly, we do make mistakes. Instead of edit, it should be delete. Save it, hot reload it, and now if we delete the pen, the product has been deleted successfully. So the other bonus tips are basically how we can consume the nested JSON. For example, if we look at the JSON placeholder, which is a fake API for the testing purposes, if we see the users within the users API, we have 10 users, and those 10 users have nested data. So here we can see that in the case of users, we have the user information and then the address. Address is a nested object. Then in case of company, we do have another nested object. So how we are going to consume such API within the ASP.NET is the another challenge, and I'm going to show how we can consume this type of API. This is the basically pro tip 2. Let's stop this project. I'm going to create a new controller, and this time I'm going to use the empty controller. Within the empty controller, I'm going to name this users. After that, we have to create the classes. So basically, uh, these classes need to be created. Address class has to be created. Within the address, there is another nested object that is geo. After that, company. These classes have to be created, and then the base class, which is the user class. So let's get started. Create some classes. I'm going to create those classes within the controller. I'm not going to utilize those classes furthermore, so not going to add those classes within the model. So let's public class. The basic class that we are going to utilize is the uh, that doesn't depend upon any other class. First one is the company class company. Within the company, we have the attributes name, catchphrase, and BS. So let's create the props name, uh, catch phrase, and last one is BS. BS is basically in what kind of business this company is dealing in. So I'm going to name it business in. But there comes an issue. The issue is that the API is telling us that it's BS, and the class within the class, the object is business in. How it's going to be mapped? Moreover, the company name has name with the small n, catchphrase is with the small c. How those classes, how is it going to be mapped? So for mapping, here comes the pro tip 3, that is, we are going to utilize the annotations and annotation from the same JSON soft package, Newton soft JSON. So JSON property, which property? It's basically name with small n and catchphrase with small c, and it will map the BS. So name, catchphrase, BS. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to create the all the classes and then show it to you because it's going to take a lot of time creating a couple of classes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically, 4 classes I have to create to consume this API. So I'm going to pause the video. When the class is ready, I'm going to resume the video so that you don't have to waste your time while watching me to create the properties. One thing that I'm going to utilize the JSON property for each of the property because we have to follow the Pascal notation within the uh, Microsoft Works, like we are working in the C Sharp, ASP.NET, we have to follow the Pascal notation, like we have to follow the camel notation in the Java or JavaScript or in the C C or C++. So I'm going to follow that, and moreover, to make sure that property is binded with the JSON, so we are going to utilize the JSON property. Okay, so I have created all the required classes, company, geo, address, and the user. One thing that uh, let me show you within the user, the company is basically property, and the property is of another class that is here. And within the address, we have geo that is defined like this. Okay, the similar procedure is going to be followed. Firstly, we have to utilize the uh, static variable that is going to hold the URL. So private static string URL equal to, I'm going to copy it later, private URI equal to base UR, not user, base URI, and that's it. Going to create the constructor. But before creating the constructor, we have to create the reference of the HTTP client. So HTTP client HTTP client HTTP client dot base address equal to base URI. That's it. After that, we are going to see the HTTP response 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 equal to underscore HTTP dot get async what, base URI base URI and dot result. It's response message. Okay, if response dot is success code, then what we have to do, we have to get the string, JSON string. So equal to response dot content dot read as string, and then we have to pass this JSON into the form of the class. So list of user users equal to JSON convert dot deserialize the object of users and this thing. Now we have to return view users. In case success code is not there, then we have to return it with null. Okay, to display it in the view, let's create the view, add view. It will be empty view. Index is fine. I'm going to utilize the table with the help of Bootstrap. It's similar that we did for the products. So I'm going to pause the video and then going to create the whole thing. After that, I'm going to show it to you and then explain it because it's already been done within the video. So it's kind of wasting your time. So let me pause it for a while and then we can resume it. Okay, so basically, I have created the table, but before creating the table, we have to define the model in what form we are getting the users. We are getting the users in the form of list, and then I have defined a div with class container, and after that, simple h1 with the table. Table has some heading, and the headings are ID, name, username, email. Basically the columns that are defined within the API. But for the address, I have created the sort of nested each heading, and with the help of paragraph, I have defined the rest of the content of the address, and similar goes for the geo and the company. Let's run this thing. But before running this thing, let me add this to the layout uh, so that we don't have to manually type the URL. This time the controller is users, and action is index perfect, and the users. Okay, let's run this project. Let's see the users. We are getting the, again, I have haven't copied the URL. Stop this project. I'm going to copy it from the JSON placeholder. Now let's run this project. Click on the users, and there we go. All the users available within the API are shown within this table, and address is a nested object, company is a nested object. Basically, we have converted this thing into the table. We have utilized this public company, and this company is a class. Let's go to the definition of the company. Company has the name and the catchphrase and the business in. And see this thing, whenever we are working with the API, we utilize the short names or acronyms, and for any reason we have to utilize the full name or vice versa. So we can utilize the JSON property. It helps a lot. It saves a lot of time, rather than scratching our head that how we are going to map the API with the property. So this is the way how we are going to map the property, and this property is available because of the Newtonsoft JSON package. So that's it from my side. Hopefully you have learned a thing or two. Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.